Hey everyone, Boardgame Brody here with Meeple Mountain. Still no shelves and no board game table. But I'm still here to share with you my top 20 most anticipated games of 2022. So let's get right into it. My number one most anticipated game is Darwin's Journey by Thundergriff Games. So this one might be cheating a little bit because I've actually played a preview copy of the game. And I know the game is just amazing. But during the campaign, they added a lot more content into what you're getting. They shared more expansions that they added and just more stuff. So I'm super excited to see how it all comes together. But I know this game is great, and already I hope to share it with everyone out there. Now, if you haven't, I made a preview video as well as a 2-player kind of discussion about the game that you should check out. But anyways, the game is great because you're upgrading all your explorers to get added benefits with them. And then as you explore the island, you gain bonuses on bonuses, and you'll discover species and then research them to gain money. And money is super tight in this game, which adds a lot of tension. And, well, it's almost like a race element to do things before other players do. It's a pure Euro that is nicely connected to the theme, more than you would anticipate that it would be. And if you like Euro games, then you'll definitely need to check out this game. It won't be disappointing to you. Anyways, my number one anticipated game of 2022 is Darwin's Journey by Thundergriff Games. Number 2, Merchants of the Dark Road by Elf Creek Games. Now, I played a demo copy so long ago, and it was so good then, so I know they've just improved it and made the game more playable so that it'll keep coming to the table, keep coming out. I know many of you have already received your copies of this game, so you can judge for yourself what you think about the game, but I haven't. So I'm still super excited to check this game out. Rondel with dice, worker placement. It has contracts, and there's a market that changes the values of all the items. The dice are used for choosing a bonus action and how many spaces that you move on that rondel. Anyways, the game is full of little bonuses here and there that all connect together. And I didn't feel like the game was all that hard to learn, but there is definitely a lot to the game. But this weight and the length of the game is just a perfect scenario for me. Elf Creek Games also always has great components and amazing art, so expect this one to blow you away with those things. And again, number 2, Merchants of the Dark Road by Elf Creek Games. All right, number 3 is Meeples and Monsters by AEG. This is a worker placement bag builder game. It kind of reminds me of a mixture of Lords of Waterdeep, Champions of Midgard, and Orleans. And I like all 3 of those games that I've mentioned. So the theme is this adventure theme, but put kind of on a light spin with some comedy to use in the theme and the cards and in the game overall. But the game has some awesome meeples that you will be drawing out of your bag, and then you will be focusing on upgrading those and upgrading your bags to fight monsters and to score points. Again, I'm super excited for this one. Number 3 is Monsters and Meeples by AEG. Let's move on. Number 4, Endless Winter Paleo Americans by Fantasia Games. And I don't know as much about this one because I haven't actually played it or demoed it or anything like that. But I followed the Kickstarter campaign that Fantasia Games ran, and it was a great campaign. The gameplay seems like it's pretty streamlined, so you know what you can do on your turn each time. It's a worker placement, kind of like a deck builder game, but the mechanics are interwoven within each other, and they blend nicely. Again, I'm super excited for this one to come out. And let's move to the next one. Number 5 is Divinus by Lucky Duck Games, and this is going to be one of those app-driven games. I love Destinies, so I can't wait to see how this one comes out because it has that app integration. This is one of those legacy games, so I know the app will make this smooth transitions and have a great theme with it. And there's a lot to look forward to with this game. And for that reason, it's here on my list waiting to get played on my table in 2022. Number 6 is Dead Reckoning by AEG. This one I do know a little bit about. I was able to have a preview copy for a couple days, so I didn't get to enjoy the game as much as I would normally have. I'm sure I missed things in the game, but this looks like for me that it will be my top pirate type game. You'll be fulfilling a number of goals with many choices throughout the games to choose from and to then win the game. It's kind of like has that scythe thing where you can pick a certain things. You can upgrade your ship, your crew. Crew are made from cards, transparent cards, so you can add things to them. You will then go and control areas and you will battle it out and determine. The battles are determined by like a tower that you drop cubes in, and it gives you the result of the battle. The mechanics are nicely in this, and I think they did a really good job so that it's a fun game. Let's move on to number 7. It's a different game than usual. This is Soul Raiders by One for All. It's an exploration deck builder story-driven game. The deck builder is a great, as you can use your cards in many ways to kind of combine with each other, but you might need to at times wait for a better hand of cards so that you can go for a harder task. Players play in asymmetric players with different strengths, and the gameplay is simultaneous. So all players will be planning things out with each other. As it is a cooperative game, I played a demo copy of this one of the campaigns, and I very much enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what else they put into this one. Soul Raiders by One for All. All right, number 8 is Dice Realms by Rio Grande Games. This one has been talked about for a long time. It's been in development for a very long time. I've been waiting for this game, just like probably a lot of you. But I think 2022 is the year for this game. Modular dice, you grow your own realm, but then as you gain dice, you will need to prepare for winter and feed your people. Sounds fun. Next one, number 9 is Lands of Galzir. So this is a campaign adventure storytelling game that doesn't use an app, but rather it's a browser-based system that can be downloaded so that you always have it without internet. You will then take turns doing an action and then making choices from the story to grow your character. You gain quests of sorts with potential for side quests. And well, you really can just explore and do whatever you want. After reading the story, you will choose an option, you will roll dice, and then you will read the outcome. So this game is all about the exploration for me and the storytelling. Number 10, Long Shot the Dice Game by Perplex Games. This is a game I can get my wife and kids to play with me, yet still a very enjoyable game for me. Essentially, you bet on horses to win the race, and then you try to kind of manipulate them. It's a roll and write game where everyone's attention is on the race, on the main board. All right, number 11, Creature Comforts. So first, this is done by Kids Table Board Games, and they make great family weight games. One of my favorites that my family just love. Now this has simultaneous worker placement, then using dice to take actions, and you are trying to collect items to then craft them into bigger items listed on certain cards. Now each place on the board changes from turn to turn, so planning changes throughout the game. Anyways, this is a game that I'm looking forward to play with my kids. Number 12, Unconscious Mind. Stealing this from their own explanation on, but worker placement, engine building, multi-use cards, and action programming with a goal is to master therapeutic technique, establish a practice, and then grow your clientele. The theme seems interesting, and Fantasia did a excellent job with the campaign for their Endless Winter game, so I expect a nice planned out one for this. And Johnny Pack as a designer, that's why it's my number 12 game. Number 13 is Planet Unknown by Adam's Apple Games. I've played this game online and it's absolutely amazing. The different things that you're trying to do when placing your tiles, and then the game opens up as you continue unlocking bonuses of certain types. And it has a center of a Lazy Susan where you sit down and it dictates, which tiles that you can take. And so you take those tiles, you add it on your board, and all of a sudden you start being able to do more and more actions. It's a great tile placement game. You should definitely check this one out. Number 14, Return to Dark Tower. Now, I just heard this game is just awesome, and so I looked into it. I love what restoration games do to their games and how they come about. I've seen a lot of success come from their model, and the game uses an engine building, resource management, and the tower, I heard, holds the game's secrets. Number 15, Oak. This makes the list because it's coming from Game Brewer. Now, they're one of my top favorite publishers out there. The weight of this game is just right for me, and it's a worker placement game of different worker types. So there's management of set collection in the game and stuff like that. So that's why it's on my list. All right, number 16 is Monsters on Board by Final Frontier Games. And this is a dice drafting game where you're trying to scare as many people out there as you can to gather spook juice. The higher the number on the die, the scarier that they are. Monsters are drafted and then you go to try to scare. So, seems fun. Number 17 is Mapping the World by Paper Plane Games. And this is an exploration game with contracts where you're a cartographer. You're trying to make the best map of the world. And so you send out explorers, and then also you develop new tools and manage your money and stuff like that. The weight is 3 out of 5 on BGG, so yeah, I'm interested. Number 18 is My Father's Work by Renegade Games, and Renegade is due for another hit, and I think this one might be their hit. It's a worker placement horror game where you're mad scientists trying to compete, making crazy experiments and continuing to then work on what your father left you. Anyways, I'd love to see what this game does and makes my list. Number 19 is Bardwood Grove by Final Frontier Games. Song tableaus from cards to then use in certain situations. It has asymmetric decks per player, and Final Frontier is proving themselves to me in 2022. Number 20, Tiles of the Arabian Nights by Holy Grail Games. This is a pick up and deliver storytelling game. It looks great to me, and I don't have many games of this type of theme, and so that made it for me, and I'm very interested in this, and I'd love to see what this game does. Now, I'm sure there are so many other games coming out that either I don't know about, that I haven't read about, or maybe they haven't even been announced yet. Anyways, please subscribe to this channel, like the video, all that good stuff. And as you're looking forward to games for this new year, like myself, I hope you find some games that take you to your next level in the hobby.
Again, this is Boardgame Brody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.